Sorry, you guys. We had some technical difficulties. We had to fix some mics and stuff, but we are back. And we was in the middle of a conversation about is caning good or would caning, beating somebody with a stick, be good for the black community if it was something that the government did.
Oh,
And you were saying something.
if the government did it in the black community, that'd be fine. But if the church did it, it would be blasphemy.
I think the church should do it.
Yeah, but listen, the death penalty doesn't stop people from killing. I don't know how much caning would do, but it would punish that. But at least
Here's the thing, though. They did some studies on the death penalty, and the reason why the death penalty is not as effective as we think is, for one, it takes too long. By the time that somebody is on 20 years on death row, you forget what they even did. They did a study that shows that the consistency of the punishment is what deters crimes, not actually the punishment itself, or way far more than the punishment itself. For instance, if you were to get 1 year for stealing a car every single time somebody stole a car versus 20 years, but only 1 out of 100 people actually got that 20 years, then you'll see the difference in how people respond to that crime. If everybody got that 1 year with no discussion, no dispute, you will see a drop in crime. Because criminals are not stupid. They are always trying to see how they can take advantage of the law.
well, you remember you're talking to an ex-criminal, and that's the reason I can speak on it, because they could have caned me if they wanted to. As soon as they got through caning me, I would have did what I wanted to do if it didn't kill me. So caning is a punishment. That's good. But would it stop anything in the black community? The only thing can stop anything in the black community really is Jesus Christ, because especially in this day and age. Back in the day, maybe, but not this day and age. They respect nothing.
I agree with you to a certain extent, but then there's some things I disagree. Like, for instance, is the ultimate problem that we don't serve Jesus Christ? Yes. But Jesus Christ has a way in which you should live that comes along with your worship of God. Just like Jesus Christ said, "My sheep, I know them if they follow me."
Mhm.
Right? They listen. They're the ones who listen. They're the ones who take God's word, and it's a lamp to their feet and a light to their path. That's true Christians. The thing that I see in the black community that's such causes a downfall in the black community is we claim to believe in God and we go through all this spiritualism, but then, like Brian was saying, we don't take anything and put it into practice. We just want to speak in words. But when it comes to actually doing it, serving God is having a father in the home. Serving God is enacting discipline. Serving God is being consistently going to church and having other godly men around you holding you accountable. Serving God is working hard and having a job and not begging the government for handouts. Serving God is not being loud and being modest in your dress. All these things are so, because like some people, and the reason why I'm pushing back a little bit on this, some people think this is blank slate, like you just gonna get saved and then have this spiritualism without knowing Jesus Christ on a personal level and having it actually affect your life. Being a Christian is not just saying you are a Christian.
But isn't that kind of separate from public policy?
What do you mean?
Like, let's say you're talking about Christianity and you're talking about how it affects how you live. I agree it should affect how you live. But when we're talking about public policy, we're talking about something that's going to be effective on everybody,
Uh-huh.
whether they're Christian or not. What's going to be effective on everybody is going to be based on Christian principles,
True.
but it should work on people who, whether they're saved or unsaved.
Yes. And this is why I like the idea of caning, because let's be honest, for a Christian community, you won't need it. You have the fathers instituting their own punishments. What I think is that when you have to take it to that level, people looting, pillaging stores, just running in there with 20 people grabbing her. You grab 5 of them and you publicly cane them, I think that would deter crime. Now, there will be an offset, like people like maybe Mr. Cliff when he was 15 years old, who gonna do what they gonna do. Yeah, but most criminals are cowards who they don't want to have no problem for real. They just want they're stealing because it is easy. They ain't stealing because dang, I might get whooped in front of everybody. Some will do what you're saying, where they be like, "Yeah, I ain't changing," but that's a very very small few.
Yeah, I think some people would take caning rather than all I'm gonna do is get caned. You know,
Nah, I don't think they
I
that
don't know.
tough.
That guy in the video, that was pretty serious. But the way I see it, and I'm just
He was
telling
doing
you,
some kung fu.
he had a backswing.
Yeah.
But
That's when he
that
looked
would
deadly.
have hurt dude. But if dude, he would have went right back out there and just don't get caught no more. That's the mindset of a
I
criminal.
don't think so though,
Okay.
because
I'm just telling you. Listen to this. If jail don't deter you, in my way of thinking, and I'm putting myself in it. When I was a crook, I would have been glad to get caned. If that's all you gonna do is cane me, I'm just saying. I would have been. It would have been hurting for a little while, and I was like, I ain't locked up. So this is just me. I was a different kind of a guy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I think you was
Yeah,
you was a real criminal.
Yeah, I was.
Not
They
like
got
one of these punk
guys
kids
nowadays
today.
that I'm like, when I see
You would have
guys,
ran through them.
when I see guys standing on the corner begging, and I'm like, dude, what kind of dope fiend are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you doing asking somebody for something?
Take
it.
it.
So Kane,
Are you saying they should just go take it, or that's what a real criminal would do?
What I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
That's. I mean, these dudes. Listen to it. Now here's my way of thinking. We got this is just me. I came up in Gary, Indiana, in the south side of Chicago. So we got guys carjacking people now. They lazy. They don't know how to hotwire cars. You know what I'm saying? They just lazy crooks. They just go take the car instead of working for it. That's a crazy way of thinking, but that's how I look at it. I'm like, what kind of drug addict are you, man?
You soft.
You I don't get that. So that's what I'm saying. Caning, maybe for this generation, because they saw from where I came from, we would have been glad to get caned. If that's all we gonna get.
Yeah, I think the generations are drastically different now.
No, this generation, if you cane them, they'll tell on everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
They might not do it for a while. They might even come to church.
Yeah.
So when you got this feminized of a culture,
yeah,
I do think that a little bit of a harsh penalty might be effective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they don't want that. And I think a lot of them too, they're not even in a day and age where most people were more disciplined and they understood structure. You didn't need this as much.
Yeah,
because if people chose a criminal lifestyle, there was not much you can do other than death penalty, because they would just go do it. They were gonna be mobsters or whatever they were.
We just gonna, hey, listen, but all you gonna do is cane me? Okay.
Yeah.
I think it worked, man. Because look at the Asian societies.
Yeah, they
people now. Okay,
they don't even. You can get caned for spitting gum out on the street.
Let's take the instance that happened at our church recently. We all know what I'm talking about with the young man.
I mean, you can go into that because he ain't. It ain't like he's well known.
I'm just saying he might be more well known than we know. But
so he does. So to fill y'all in. So what happened was we had a young dude who we thought was coming from the neighborhood for good reasons. He snuck into church.
8 years old.
Yeah, when he came to church, he propped the door open and we didn't realize it and left. Came back later when nobody was there and came into church and broke in. Later on, we found him on tape also setting fires outside of the church and doing crazy stuff like that.
Luckily, he didn't set anything on fire.
Yeah.
But that's still
8 years
that's
old.
That's deserving of a caning. I think.
Now, his mama need to be caned.
Both of them. They could be caned together.
Yeah, right. Cane them in public.
Both together.
The church.
They could do it together.
Yeah. But, so we
Family
already know.
together.
Listen to this. We already know. Here's a kid that's out 2:00 in the morning with two other kids jumping over a fence with a 5-gallon can of gas behind the church.
Yeah, cane the mother at that point.
Yeah, the mother need cane.
Cane the mother.
And then, cane him and the mother at the same time. But it might help him.
That'd be a funny sight, though. You gotta admit, like a little strapped up kid, and then the mother strapped up. They have with matching canes.
But somebody's on this going to say, "Well, I thought you were Christians." Yeah,
You
listen,
thought
in the Old
Christianity
Testament,
was something
they
else.
said if you had a son that was bothersome, take him to the elders. If he didn't listen to them, take him out there and stone him. That's what they did.
we need to
Take
bring
'em
that
out.
back. I think
said
so.
I was going to get a bumper sticker that says "Bring back the backhand." You remember sitting in the back seat? That backhand was long. It was like goodbye.
It works.
And
I'm
works.
just saying, it works, man. Some of these physical punishments that we think are so cruel and so unusual, I really think they make societies better, because what's
They do
happening
make
now
societies better.
is people are getting away with absolutely everything, and they say, "I'll sit in jail, I'll get bail, I don't care." Okay, you don't care, but I bet you if we string you up in front of all your friends, put it on tape, and cane your little punk butt, I guarantee you not gonna do it again.
So we got these grown guys that they get punished for almost fighting over the remote control, and I'm like, okay, look, man. I remember one time I just went in the room and snatched all of everything out of the wall and said, grown men shouldn't be arguing about some TV that ain't theirs in a homeless shelter, okay?
Yeah.
And they said, well, I'm a grown man. I said, listen, okay, since you're a grown man, now I'm a grown man. I can go home and watch my TV at my house how I want to. You a grown man.
You
in
didn't
the
have to rub
homeless
it in
shelter.
like that.
Yeah, you did.
Fancy man with his fancy house and
I get in trouble all the time
Yeah.
for saying stuff like that. So if I'm hoping nobody from my job is watching, because
he works at a homeless shelter.
I'm
We'll
gonna
just
be
put
in
it that
trouble.
way.
But yeah, you want to be called a man.
No, you're a child.
Well, yeah, I think the reason
I would
why
like to
you
cane a few of those.
yeah, that's
dudes.
what I'm saying. Like a couple of people, they really think they haven't had any physical discipline all their life.
I would love to cane this one dude at work. So listen.
Yeah.
Snap. Well,
No, so
don't
listen.
get yourself in trouble.
No, this is true. So there's no. We had a special project that went on at work. We had to hire all these temps, and it was just so hard to get them to just do basic stuff. Weeks later, we're finding that they were stuffing like chip bags in the middle of pallets and stuff. There was a garbage right there.
That's
It's just stuff like that, or like
Were they young?
they weren't so young that they shouldn't. They were in their mid-20s to 30.
Okay.
That's young, yeah.
So I mean, but it was just ridiculous, and it's like it was one guy I had to correct him because he fell asleep, and then he gonna come to me and say, "Hey, well, you think I'm doing a good job?" And I said, "No," and he was like, "How you gonna say I'm not doing good?" I said, "I just caught you falling asleep today. Do you think that's good?" He was like, "Well, other than that," I said, "There's no other than that." you telling me a Canaan wasn't to work with him because he's so lackadaisical?
No,
he
he don't
doesn't
wanna
have
work
any
a Canaan.
motivation. If I
Listen.
told him, if he had to come to work, and he knew, hey man, you don't do right, you're getting caned.
Oh yeah, he was straightened up. real
Well,
quick.
dude,
And man, you got to think about it. In biblical times, that's what they would do.
That's what they
because
did.
they would
And
have
they
a
still didn't
servant, and they would
straighten
say,
up,
if you
though.
beat
But
your
they
servant,
did. Some did, Mr.
well,
Cook.
they just some did. Some they just got
You
stoned
can't
to death.
fix everybody, but I can tell you part of the caning, why I think caning would work, is the people watching it when it would go kapow. And then the other people are like, whoa, I ain't doing that.
Yep.
I remember we used to get paddling in high school, and you could hear the paddle in the hallway. And I remember we were in the 10th grade, and one of the guys that I grew up with, he stole a starter pistol, and he shot it at lunchtime.
What?
Back
Dang.
then, everybody scattered. They found out it was him, right? And he was gonna get a paddle. Mr. Smith said, "Hey, bend over and grab your ankles." He was like,
That sounds dirty.
he was like, "I ain't doing that." We were like, he's gonna get
Ooh.
killed because you didn't talk back to teachers,
Yeah.
But
I don't know
they
what's up
took
with
that stuff
Camden,
out of
Mr.
school,
Producer.
and that's what happens. Now they'll beat you up. The mama come beat up a 6th grader for getting in a fight with their daughter.
Yes, they
Now
will.
they need caning.
Yeah.
Maybe if you can't. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think the black community, it really starts
Does it need
with...
caning? Yeah, it needs
It
caning.
needs
Is
it,
it going
but
to
it
do
needs-
any good? I don't know.
You weren't wrong when saying that the core of the problem is always going to be Jesus Christ with every problem that you face on the planet. But my thing with the black community is they do have a specific need for fathers.
I agree.
And
I
they
agree.
absolutely need it. And the reason why we know that is because we're the community with the least amount of fathers who do most of the violent crimes.
Yes.
And so it's like very obvious to me that we think we can live in this matriarchy ran by women, and everybody in the black community got over at Big Mama's house and listen to their mom, but your dad's is nowhere to be found. And then we wonder why these little punk kids grow up to be thugs. It's because they're looking for a male role model, and they don't have any men.
Well, the male role model is the dope dealer.
Right.
Yeah, the crack man.
Well, and I think to go full circle, so what you're saying is the caning represents a masculine discipline
Yeah.
that's missing because of the lack of the fathers.
Right.
And I get that. I think the biggest
It's
fear is
not
going to be
perfect.
sexual discipline.
Yeah.
The if you're talking about punishment, yeah, cane them. If discipline is discipline, when you disciplining somebody, you're expecting change. When you punishing somebody, you just punishing them. So
I think punishment falls under discipline,
okay,
like the umbrella of, discipline. Like you can punish. I punish my children for doing bad things, but it's also a form of discipline.
yeah, okay.
But there's
I agree
more
with that.
like some people look at it and they will say, you punish, but it's only 30% punishment and 30% discipline and then 30% rehabilitation and all this goofy stuff. I think it's a mix of all of those things, and you can't really put parameters on it because part of punishment is so that you would not do what you did. If you I don't think that you ever look at punishment and just say, it's not revenge. It's justice, which is two totally different things. Revenge is I'm just gonna make you feel what other people felt or what I feel.
Yeah.
And then you have justice, which is saying you owe a debt. And the reason why you owe a debt is because you took an action that needs to be repaid. And if you don't want to repay that, again, you should turn away from that action, repent from what you're doing. So I kind of look at it like, yeah, you gotta turn away from that sin. You got part of your paying, like when they, in the Old Testament, when they would make people pay things back sevenfold, it's so not only that you would do justice and you stole time from that person, you stole property, you stole all these different things. Now you got to pay it back, and it should cost you something to pay that back.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I may as well. I was a horrible father coming up. My two children. And I met Jesus Christ, so that kind of changed my way of thinking. And I'm thinking from the perspective that it was when I was out there being a criminal.
Yeah.
There is a huge problem with absentee fathers in our community. That is the biggest problem. You have the ladies trying to do the best they can.
I don't know about that.
Well, some of them. You got some women that are they're righteous.
I think about 70% of them are trash.
Well, I don't know. I'm just going by the ones that I know that's single and trying to do all right.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, and this
they can't raise boys. That's what the problem is.
Not only can they not raise boys, but they're not picking good men either.
Yeah,
and part of the reason for that I know that for a fact, is every hood dude I knew had a baby mama, and multiple baby mamas.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got men in our church who are good men who can't find a wife. And that's not just me looking at this thing exclusively.
We're having some mic issues there. Think things are cutting in and cutting out.
Oh, are they?
I think it's out of our control. But
yeah, it is what it is. We'll just keep going.
We'll go with it.
Is that other camera working too? Mine ain't working either?
Nope. The lights are out.
That's good. That's good enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and they've done a study on this too that shows statistically we would love to blame just men and look at it and say, you know what, these men are out here leaving their kids. But what's really more accurate as what's happening is the women are attracted to men that are players. And the players are gathering up all the women to themselves and leaving the good men with good character and integrity to not have any women until they all washed up and they got 16 kids and they about 50, 60 pounds overweight. No man, I don't think, really wants. Now in the black community, you got these phrases where you hear, You just step up and be a stepdaddy. And I'm not saying nothing's wrong with being a stepdad. I think that's a commendable thing. But at the same time, that shouldn't be a weight that you put on a brand new, a man to come into a relationship and have to father your children.
Here's some statistics. In the United States, approximately 18.5 million children live without a father, which is about 1 in 4 children.
That's crazy.
This rate of fatherlessness is higher than the global average and is associated with a higher likelihood of poverty, lower academic achievement, increased rates of behavioral problems, and crime. For example, children from fatherless homes are nearly 4 times
Yep.
more likely to live in poverty. 71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. It goes on and on and on. So that is a problem in our community. That is a problem. That is a
Absolutely.
huge problem. And it
Yeah.
used to be a time when born in wedlock was a shame. They
Yeah.
would send you down south to Grandma Willie's house,
Yeah.
But now it's cool. They invented new words, babies, mamas, and
Yeah.
and stuff.
And that's
it's
what I mean, like,
popularized.
by shame. I
Yeah.
think we need more shame in the black community because we proud of everything. You got songs out there talking about how many baby daddies you got, and it comes to a point where we have to acknowledge, and this is one thing I think we have not done in the black community. We don't mind punching on men. We don't mind saying men need to do better, and I agree, men do. Men, the thug dudes, but then when it comes to our women, we very wary about correcting them because we know how they get. We very wary about correcting them. We don't challenge them. We don't say nothing about nobody mama. And we don't say, you know what, your mama was a loose woman back in the you kill somebody for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let somebody talk about their dad. They could say whatever. And the problem is like we need to reiterate how important that hierarchy is. And we need to bring shame back to our women specifically. Not sleeping around with whoever, not having all these boys out of wedlock. You should be called a disgrace for having these boys and they ain't got no father in their life and you thinking you can do it on your own. That's disgraceful.
Mm-hmm.
And you are setting that boy up for failure.
Well, I think what you're saying too is you're in a way you're describing a corrosive effect of attacking men, because if you follow the often quoted Tupac line of even though you're the crack fiend, you was a black queen.
Yeah.
But then his dad is a coward who wasn't even there.
Mm-hmm.
But they both bad parents.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But it just shows respect is misplaced. So respect is with the mom,
Yeah.
but really respect should be with the father.
Mm-hmm.
And so because we respect the moms over the dads, that's why we got a matriarchal society.
Yeah.
And so we will hold men accountable. We won't hold women. That's tells you who's in power.
Mm-hmm.
And the going thing is, welfare did it because the man couldn't be in the house because the woman couldn't get the welfare. So
That's
the
part of
government
it.
broke up the family and all of that. And we in our society, especially in our culture, we have this disability welfare thing. Everybody's got to be on something. That's why that's why everybody hate the government when they stop saying you got to get a job if you want food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
So we got this thing in our society that we're entitled and we don't have to work. We can just get a Quest card and welfare and we don't have to work. And so this is how our voting goes,
Yeah.
So now I can't vote for somebody because they might take my food stamp.
That's exactly right. We don't even vote for morality.
No matter if they care, no matter what they say,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was in the store the other day and all I hear 2 people stacking the shelves. Trump, Trump, Trump. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
and it's like we don't have any perfect people, number one. But we're talking about people who are going to put up a man that didn't even know his name for president. Okay. And you can't say it.
Oh,
and everybody's overlooking that, right?
Or what do you mean by put up? Because somebody might not.
They were
know.
going to listen.
Biden
If
didn't-
they hadn't stepped in and said, "Hey, dude, look,
can't
don't be
run.
getting no TV no more, acting like that. You can't run, dude." Okay.
No, he
They
was
were
sharp.
right.
He was man.
And
He was
then,
sharp as a
listen,
tack.
Yes.
Not only that, hey,
He
if
was
I'm
the
your
sharpest
if
tool
I'm
in the
your
shed.
Vice president, and I'm saying, "Hey, Jack, hey man, that press conference was horrible, man."
You failed 10 times.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Why don't we? Hey,
This is
why don't we do this? Why don't we just see if somebody else can run? And then you get this
Nope.
slick talking woman coming in, and
Well, she
everybody-
wasn't that slick talking. She was cackling.
Yeah, well, she was. You
She
know,
was trying to be.
yeah. I'm just. But this is what I'm saying. Then people can't see that you were going to vote for this man, and everybody was like, "You can't see him. He can't. He didn't even know his name no more. You know." I'm just saying that's the kind of stupidity we are under, man.
Yeah.
And in our community, the black community, we are. Listen,
We are slaves to the Democrat Party. Absolute
Our leaders are
slaves to
horrible.
them.
and
We
now
don't-
everybody mad at us conservative black men now,
Yeah.
because we ain't going for that okey doke, right?
Mm-hmm. And you know what? It's really a sad thing to say because as conservative as I am, and more people are changing, it's a little bit too slow and too late, in my opinion. It's like I would love to see more people change over and black Christian men specifically start voting with their Christian godly ethics and having that influence their vote. But at some point, we have to acknowledge the wrong that we did for even allowing it to be where the Democrats can look and say, "Oh, I got 90% of the black vote no matter what I do."
Yeah, that's that
so
group thing.
stupid to vote like that. They don't have to do anything to appease the black people or do anything. They don't have to do nothing. They got in there. Obama got in there, and he fought more for gays than he did for anybody else. And we sitting over here talking about that's our black president. We so happy, y'all. Who cares? This dude, and the thing about it, I don't want to go on a tirade about Obama, but the whole point is the Democrat Party knows that we are slaves to them. They know that they can do
They
whatever
can count
they
on
want.
it.
Well, and
Yes.
I wonder if they fear that they're losing black men because remember Obama got up there and he corrected black men and said
Yeah.
you're not supporting Kamala. So I
Yep.
wonder.
Yeah,
I
right.
wonder if
That
they fear that.
backfired.
But it goes to show you, man, the women are going the wrong way, and
But it's the
that's
black.
across cultures. The women are going the wrong way, but
Yeah.
I think in the black community, the women are just way over
They
here.
can't be stopped.
At least the
man.
men are moving, but I
Yeah.
believe,
They can't be stopped.
Well, but they can be stopped if men set a proper structure. Because the
How?
only way,
But you
well,
can't.
because
You
you
can't
gotta
go in the
be-
voting booth
every
with them. No.
every way to fix them is going to be manly structure. It's going to be the church, masculine structure. It's going to be the family, masculine structure. It's going to be a society that has masculine structure. That's the only solution.
Here's the thing, though, man. How do we can?
It's
We
gonna
all
come
know
out.
that like for instance, just like when he said Jesus Christ is the answer. We know that,
Mm-hmm.
but is there really any hope for the black community?
There is hope. There is hope.
Well,
in the
it's
sense,
got to be. And listen to this. Hey, listen. That's the only hope. Listen. If Jesus Christ can save me, that is the hope. That's the only hope we got.
I'm not saying I'm
because-
not talking about possibility. I'm talking about probability. Like what I'm saying is this.
Well,
We know that I've seen your life. You got a great testimony, Mr. Cliff, how you came from a life
Right,
of
right.
drugs and crime and all types of stuff. And now you are probably the most faithful person that I know. But that is not happening for most. And God does let, like one of the scariest verses in the Bible, he lets the cup of wrath fill up
Mhm.
until he
Says
pours
I'm
it
down,
out.
yeah.
And I think in the black community, at some point, God is just letting the stupidity fill up and he's going to pour it out on us. And I don't know if we've done enough to turn away from our sin because the black culture itself is really encouraging to stupidity.
Yeah,
no,
listen,
we haven't, but that doesn't mean it is not going to be that there is not hope. I will say this. I don't think it is probable. Let me put it this way. I don't think it's probable that the United States will even be strong in 50 years. I don't think it's probable that the West will stand in 50 years. But if there's a chance that we do, it's going to be because we return to Christianity, which will establish the masculine structure, which will allow us to resist feminism and Islam, which are the two biggest threats to Western
Right.
culture
I
today.
agree. So let's talk
Well-
about that. What's the practical ways that we can do this without just saying, "Oh, we just got to do it"?
Well,
How do we do that in the black community?
I think here's what we got to do. I think we're going to have to put a strong emphasis on punishing crime in the black community with the insistence that it is helping the black community itself.
Okay.
We're going to have to change up. We're going to have to attack the education culture that we have, because we have a culture of just putting up with D's and trying to make them B's. We have to attack the education culture in such a way that we de-emphasize the public education and we push people into private education. And I think we're going to have to de-emphasize welfare as much as we can, and then we're going to have to build up as much as possible the church structure, while attacking any church structure that goes against what we're talking about. Any left-wing church, any feminist church, any Islamic, anything like that that goes against the orthodox belief of Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm not talking about the Orthodox Church. I'm talking about the truth.
Yeah. You're talking about the fundamental core of
that's
it.
the
Yeah.
only way. You gotta have to attack those things, and you're going to be mad aggressive in doing it too.
Well, you said something, Jack, that was real pertinent. It might be too late, because the end of the age is here.
Yeah.
We can see that the Lord's just gonna pour out his wrath one day, and he's sick and tired, and it's gonna fall heavy on our community.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching this thing today about Carnival Cruises. Okay,
Oh,
you ever see that?
yeah, where they do that
Carnival
song.
Cruises. Now they
Yeah,
got
a
this
Jet
thing
2
where,
holiday, that one.
well, no, but Carnival Cruises, they had people, and these are black people who like cruising, which I do. I would never go on Carnival.
Because it's that
the
hood
It's
stuff,
smelling
yeah.
like the weed, and people on there fighting, they twerking and
Mhm.
everything, and
I seen
and
the
then
videos.
everybody's talking about, well, now Carnival is prejudice against black people. And this one dude said, no, it's black people, and then there's N-word,
You can say it. But yeah, here's the thing.
and it's
I
like
don't-
that's our
I don't
community.
even mind a little bit of prejudice. I'll say it, and I know that don't sound right. I don't mind when somebody says, "You know what? You, your cousin, your grandmammy, your mama, your uncle, you're all ghetto. Okay, I see what's going on here. I don't mind somebody making that assessment. Now, I don't like, obviously I don't like it when it comes to me, but here's the thing. I have enough charisma, I have enough intelligence to persuade people that I'm not like these idiots.
Right.
So when I walk into a place, a restaurant with me and my wife, the way that I talk and the way that you come across me right from the beginning, I'm not one of these ignorants.
Yeah.
You know I'm not.
You're
So
not ignorant.
yeah, so you don't gotta even question it. When I tip good. I go out of my way to make sure I'm not one of these Negroes where you come in, it's like, oh, they here, we about to time to leave. Yeah, I'm not one of them. So I go out of my way not to be one of them. If every
What-
black person were to do this, is why I say it on my show that we taking the word coon and making it cultivating our own narrative
Yeah.
instead of just being a coon. You can call me a coon because you can
Yeah.
say, oh man, he don't want to be one of us. No, I don't want to be an ignorant black person. I want to be somebody who takes our own words and takes our own actions and goes out into the world and people say, yeah, dang man, who is this guy? He's
Listen.
educated. He talks with
Yeah, we have to.
you know?
We're gonna have to culturalize a black common sense conservative.
yeah.
We're going to have to culturalize.
We
it
got to make our
because
own race.
You do almost have to, because you have to reject this other culture that is going on, because this
And we
hood
lumped
culture,
in. It's the lumped in culture.
We
Well,
get
but the
lumped
hood-
in
the
just
hood
by
culture is
it's easy to
yeah.
distinguish.
It's nasty and
And the-
disgusting. Nobody
Yeah,
want
it
to be
is.
part of
Nobody
that.
want to be
Yeah.
like that. And
Like-
think you're on a cruise ship, and listen, you got a cruise line that promotes it, and all of a sudden they stopped, and everybody mad at them, talking about we got to sue them
I
because
saw
they
that.
prejudice. And look, you see all this stuff on the cruise ship. If anybody is honest with themselves, nobody like hood rats, man.
Nobody.
Nobody.
They don't even like themselves.
Nobody.
So all I'm
That's
saying,
why they started going on cruises so they wouldn't be around that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, but
we
I'm
wanted
like-
to do something where to pay.
but you go,
You gotta
wrong-
pay so
go
much,
on
you get away from
Carnival
the
and
lower class
You know
people.
what's happening on Carnival? It's they sneaking on weed and they twerking. and
Yeah,
they
man.
wearing
I
them-
saw the videos.
Man, listen.
They all need to be caned.
And they put off 18 people.
Caned.
They left them in Jamaica because they were so ghetto.
That's a shame.
They
Go
left
back
them.
to the motherland.
Now you get back how you want to. And guess what? You got on the ship. You ain't got no passport, and to get out of this country, you need one. So you might as well.
Mm.
Now you Jamaican, okay? Because you can't even leave. I'm serious.
That's kinda funny.
You fighting and all on the ship, and people like, what are they?
Yeah, they
And
don't have
listen,
enough
And here's the
people
thing,
to
man.
deal with that.
And I'm gonna say this. No wonder people scared of us, man.
Yeah.
I'm scared of us. You know what I'm saying?
That's
To
what
that
I'm
point.
saying, though.
So no wonder I ain't mad at no white people because they see Ray and them on TV
I
with
know,
their hair
man.
all looking crazy
Tattoos
and
on their face, gold
all-
teeth.
all this-
Nobody
I'm like,
want to see that and see that coming and being like, "That's a young, fine gentleman. Let me see if he needs a ride."
Yeah.
Nobody thinks like that.
or
you-
let me give him a job. Oh,
Yeah.
Or let
No,
me.
don't get
let him date my
temp-
daughter.
Don't give him
yeah.
a job.
Yep.
Did you see
Don't
what
you-
they?
You'll
did
steal
you see-
everything from the
Did you
company.
see what they
Yep.
did the other day to this dude in the hemp shop
Mm-mm.
on the east side?
No.
2 dudes jumped in there, jumped the counter, pants hanging down here, stomping the dude. The man in there working at a hemp shop on Farwell and Brady. They
Yeah,
jumped
I used to
across,
live
they
right
hit
over
the
there.
man in the head with the cash register and
Oh
everything.
my
I'm like,
gosh.
look at these 2 dudes.
They
And they
crazy.
taking the man's stuff.
Where they
And all they got was like, they took $10,000 worth of stuff. Dude, when they catch you, they going to throw the key away. No, but unless you're in Milwaukee
Well,
and some
nah,
liberal judge
yeah.
gonna give you probation.
Yeah, you're gonna get your 37 chance.
Yeah, man.
Most
I'm
of these
like-
dudes that's killing these ladies, like in these liberal cities, they like on their 37th and 38th
Yes,
try.
yes.
Not only that, man. How in the world could
Didn't
you
somebody set a girl on fire in Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think
and he's
about
been
this.
arrested. They said
Like
he arrested
20
like 100.
times?
No, like 100 something.
That's
times.
insane.
think about this, man? You got every night in Milwaukee people getting killed, and you know what? They ain't catching these people.
Mm,
I wonder how many repeat killers are out there.
it's a lot.
Listen, and here they are asking for your help. If you know anything about this help, these people are walking around out here killing people
You ain't
every
gonna-
day and walking around the street. And if they get caught, their Aunt Lucy gonna get on there and say he was a good boy. I don't know. And I'm so sick of that, man.
Yeah.
Here's what people don't know. They say it's a shame so and so got shot. 2 people got killed, and they ain't catching the people.
Yeah.
They still out there.
Yeah.
No wonder everybody's scared. Like I said, I ain't one of them people. They talk, yeah, it's the man's fault and all that. Man, don't nobody want to be bothered with them niggas.
No.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Nobody want to be around them, and
I'm
they're
sorry,
look.
man.
I
I
remember
don't
one time I was
blame
walking
people
down
for
the
it.
mall, dude, and some dudes just walked past me and they just tried to shoulder. They
Yeah.
were shoulder dashing other people.
Yeah.
I was ready for them, but
Yeah.
it was young black dudes.
Yeah, they just gonna beat
They
you
tried,
up.
I know they didn't try to check you.
No, I was ready, but I think they knew that I was ready. I was like, ooh, because
I
in
hope
my
to
heart,
God you tried
in my
that with
heart,
me.
I hoped they did it to me
Yeah.
because I was so ready. I had a wrestling move ready. I was so ready. I wanted them to do it, and they wouldn't do it. So
Yeah.
They know who
because
they
I
can
walked
play
near
with.
them, I walked near them when they did, and they went the other way. So I'm like,
They know who they can play with and who they
Man,
can't.
I'm just saying. And
mhm.
listen,
I would have jumped
and
on
here's
them.
the
I would
part.
have broke. I probably
Here's the
would've
part
got in
here's the
trouble
part
for what I
that,
did.
that irks
You
me.
run.
We
You
got
gotta run.
Hakeem Hicks and all of these people
After
in
you
there
do what you do.
defending this stuff, talking about Obamacare, and they want to hold up the country for. I gotta say this. They want to hold up the country for some COVID era stuff that the government gave them,
Mhm.
right? They're gonna hold up the country, the people on food stamps and everything, just to prove a point.
Yeah.
For Obamacare subsidies that we were giving them just because of COVID.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that, and they say Trump, 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 Trump. They look, read the newspaper, follow the news, read the Bible,
They
figure
don't.
out something, and don't go for these talking heads on TV
They so
saying
ignorant.
everything to you.
Let me-
the View, really?
Those
They're clowns.
The View. They were talking to what's the South Carolina senator, the brother.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
He was on The View.
somewhat younger black. You talking about?
Yeah, he's a senator.
I forgot his
You
name.
ain't talking about Cory Booker, are you?
No, not Court. This is a Republican.
Mhm.
This brother,
okay,
is.
okay.
They're from South
Well
Carolina.
spoken young black guy.
Okay, I
He's
know
from
who you're talking
South
about.
Carolina. He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
on The View, and Whoopi and them was talking about. Well, do you think it? He says, "Look, my father was born in South Carolina. My
Tim Scott's his
grandfather was
name.
born in
That's
South
Tim
Carolina."
Scott.
Keith Scott.
Tim Scott.
Tim.
Tim
Oh,
Scott.
my fault.
Tim,
Tim
yeah,
Scott.
Tim Scott.
Yeah, he said, and I'm a senator. I'm a black senator from South Carolina.
Yeah.
My son is going to school to be a doctor. Don't sit here telling me that black folks are being held down.
Yeah.
You know, and Whoopi and them sitting up there. That show make me want to vomit, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Well, black people are being held down by a culture that they have created and participate in.
Man,
So if you are held down, it's not like it's so. If somebody's holding you down, it's not white people. Let me put it to you
You're
this
right
way:
about that.
if you go
It's
to
yourself.
college, if you go,
It's like
listen,
that
no,
meme
for
of
real,
you
get
holding
held-
yourself down.
It is, but here's the scary thing about it is it does hold you down. So when I went to college, you talk to somebody, and then somebody be like, your professor asks you a question, and you're in front of a whole bunch of other black kids. The pressure is, hey man, be black,
Yeah.
which means be ignorant.
right.
Which means don't be super cool, be nonchalant, don't care about nothing. And it's like you got that mentality. So if you think about it, what is holding black people down is the culture that we have created is holding us down. But in reality, when you look at even the rappers and all them, and you really talk to the successful ones, they some of the hardest working people you ever seen.
Right. Yeah.
So
they are.
so they might have a mentality of, oh, I don't care this and that, but that's not what successful people are doing.
No.
Nobody is doing that. You talk to even I've seen all these interviews about Snoop Dogg and all that. He got some strange things he do. But this dude is out there working hard, doing
Yeah,
this,
he
and
working
doing
hard,
that, doing
man.
this commercial, doing that commercial, going for endorsements. They talking about he was at a concert and he was talking to some backup dancers, and Nelly was with him, and Nelly called his wife like, "Hey, bro, watch out! He talking to you dance." He's like, "I ain't even talking to them," but he said he loved Nelly for that
yeah.
because Nelly killed him accountable to not like mess with. But if you were to took his rap persona image, you would say, yeah, he's sleeping with them dancers. Of course he
Mhm.
is. But that's not how you're successful.
Right.
So people think, oh, I'm gonna be successful like Snoop, and I'm gonna sleep with all these women. And then you look at Snoop and you talk to him. That's not how he got successful.
No, he worked
Yeah.
hard.
So if you think about it, the culture that he's creating is holding somebody else down from being the next him.
That's true. I can't even disagree with that. I want to pivot a little bit
Okay.
and go, Mr. Producer, you ready? You want to, if you pull that up on screen so the audience can read it too. But yeah, I want you to read this and then you guys tell me what you think.
I've been waiting for this. So this is about an ex-sex worker, a 35-year-old female, says,
That's an old sex word.
feeling like the internet has lied to me about my dating prospects. I need a dose of truth. She goes on, yeah, so putting it all out there. I used to be an escort in my 20s and a tiny bit in my early 30s. I still can earn a little on the I still cam a little on the side, but I'm essentially
What's
financially
cam?
independent.
So cam
webcamming.
is like when
Cam
you
girl?
do,
Cam?
yeah, being a cam girl, you're
Yeah.
just doing sexy videos on your webcam so
Yep.
people can see it.
Okay.
Yep. She says, I own my own home and I'm starting a small online business, non-sex related. I never took dating seriously and never looked for relationships until I turned 30,
It's too late.
after which I had a sudden, desperate urge to settle down. I've been dating for more than 4 years now, and I'm feeling beyond dejected. I truly believe no man will ever be able to accept my past and see me for who I am, and I'm worried I can't do anything about it. But the annoying thing is I can't help but feel really misled by the internet. I feel like every time I've posted a question about sex work and dating online, at least 80% of replies from men are something like, I don't care what your past is like. Being a sex worker is not a deal breaker to me. This has not been true for me in real life. I've been on countless dates, and the ones that have gone relatively well all abruptly ended the moment I told them about my sex work in the past. I haven't met a single normal-ish guy who's been okay with my past. There have been tons that just wanted to hook up, but that's not what I'm looking for either. So where are all these internet men in real life? Are people just flat out lying online about
Yes.
this sort of stuff? Or am I just going after the wrong type of man?
That too.
I'm mostly attracted to professional, clean-cut men around my own age.
Professional, clean cut men.
Yep, professional, clean-cut men around my own age.
Okay.
But no one thus far has shown even the tiniest bit of interest
I wonder
in looking
why.
past my history.
No.
Am I just a lost cause?
Yes.
And has the internet been feeding me lies?
Yes.
My question with this is, say she becomes a Christian,
Mm-hmm.
and this lady who was once a sex worker was on internet, probably got thousands of cam videos on the internet showing her butthole or whatever she was doing to get money, and she becomes a Christian. She comes to our church, and we got some young men who say, "Oh, she's pretty." Well, we encourage them to date her. Say she went to our church for a year.
I would. Here's what I would do. I would warn them the truth, because if she really is saved, she could be a Rahab.
Mhm.
Rahab was a prostitute.
Mhm.
She got saved. She's in the line of Jesus.
Did she get married though?
She got married. Rahab got married. She's in the line of Jesus.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. What am I thinking?
So I do think it is possible, but you have to ask yourself, can you deal with it? And if you can't, that's okay. I'm not going to, this is what I would not do. I would not pressure a man to be okay with that, because I would not be okay with that. And so I'm not going to pressure a man to
When
be
you
okay
say
with
though that most, and I'm saying I agree with everything you said.
Mhm.
You would warn them strictly, and
But she would have to be a person who's utterly humiliated about her past.
That's what I'm trying to get at too. And here's the thing that I don't like is I think there's so many women that are coming to church and they don't have that humility, they don't have that repentance. It's more of a mindset of, yeah, I did that, but I'm different now.
No.
And my mentality that I would like to teach more men is you can have standards and you don't have to bow down to whatever somebody offers you. You have no obligation to be with everybody who requests it.
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure. The only problem, and here's the problem. There's a limited amount of men, or let's say this way. There's a limited amount of women who will date some of the men in the church too. So you're going to have this battle where it's people who are both battling the scarcity problem.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got these men in the church, they're not, most of them who are single now, they're not like me or you who know how to talk to women.
Yeah.
They're just not. They've single, some of them, to be honest, they're single for a reason. And the
That's
reason is
true.
not because they're good men. The reason is
Socially
they're good men, but they're
awkward.
socially awkward.
They don't know how to
but
talk.
women don't
yeah.
have the patience to deal with that now.
Yeah.
So in the past, they will build familiarity, right? So they will happen. What happened is a man will be awkward, but because a woman was around him long enough and they were patient enough, they will have a relationship with that man, and it will be okay because
Yeah.
they will realize this dude is a good man. Just because he
Mhm.
can't sweep me off with my feet, writing poems and all that, he's still a good man. And they would love his quirks,
Mm-hmm.
and they would marry a man like that. But it doesn't happen as much now because people don't have a patience. We live in a fast-paced culture.
Mm-hmm.
I would say so when you have a lot of dudes like that are having a super hard time getting married.
Yes.
Super hard time. So even if you had somebody like that, the temptation would be, even if they weren't repentant, it's a lot of, especially if she was good looking, there's a lot of dudes who would say yes. So unfortunately, I wish it wasn't the case.
Yeah.
But a lot of dudes will say yes because we live in a simping kind of culture.
Yeah.
And so I do think that we have a lot of men who don't have any standards.
I can change her.
Exactly that, but they don't. It's not that they can change it. They don't even believe they can. They just want to believe that they can.
Yes.
I think it's more so women that think they can change men. Because you know, they have that. Women are men's kryptonite. Some
Yeah.
guys, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Most men.
So
probably.
women think they can change you. One thing I said this Sunday. One thing that I think we understand as Christian men, we understand Genesis 3:16 of what is it,
The fall of
15?
man.
That, but when God says your punishment is going to be, you're going to be contrary to your husband, but he's going
Yeah.
to rule over you. So Christian men understand that. Because sometimes you know how wives are. Sometimes my wife, I just bust out laughing when she says some stuff sometimes. Because women, I think they can fix you. I think some women think we're just big Ken dolls, you know.
Yeah.
They can fix you. Oh, that's why some girls get in trouble with these dudes. Because dudes ain't trying to be fixed, you know.
Mhm.
They think they can fix them. I get this guy and I'll fix him up, and you know, that's what they think.
Yeah, I
So-
do think part of women's sin nature is to
Yeah.
think that they can change a man's character and that they can
Mhm.
take two opposites and make them perfect for them. For instance, find a thug killer type dude, but he's soft with her, and find somebody who he was a player, but he settles down with them.
Yeah.
They love that story because it makes them feel special. But that's really it doesn't really work like that in real world.
That's a
And-
video skit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a video skit that I've seen play out.
That the one you
I've
you-
seen
yeah,
that
yeah.
video skit play out too
Yeah.
many times, you know.
Mhm.
But the thing about it, I do wanted to ask you guys too. Now, as this lady who's writing, I'm sure she's not a Christian because she
Mhm.
has not said anything about being repentant at all.
Mhm.
What do you think is her main issue?
Her main issue is her past. She can't listen. Her main issue is you can't have had sex with all these men and think that the current men won't have an issue with it.
What if she didn't have sex, but she just was on cam doing all types of lewd behavior?
You can't do that either because your reputation matters. For men, your reputation matters, and it's
Mhm.
nothing. I think they don't understand that you could end a man's career
Yes.
by, for example, when Tupac said that he slept with, was it Faith Evans?
Yeah.
When Tupac said that, that was a killer blow. You can't. It's hard to come back from
For her or him.
For
him.
Biggie was
It's
dating
hard to-
Faith at the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
hard to come
he
back.
opened the
from-
song saying "I slept with your girl." He didn't word it that nice, but he said that.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from that. And then even worse, it's hard to come back from your mom screwed this guy.
Mm-hmm.
If your mom did it, you got nothing to say. So they don't understand the position that they're putting men in is extremely defensive, beat down position.
Mm-hmm.
So men look at that and they say, "Man, do I want to be that?"
Yep.
And it's different. And I'll say this too: if you got somebody like Rahab, it's still a defensive position. But it's just you accept it because of how quality she is. And you say that's how she was. Thank God she's saved today. But everybody's not Rahab.
yeah.
Everybody's not. I mean, even if you look at somebody like
Mary
Ruth,
Magdalene.
yeah, everybody's not Mary Magdalene. Everybody's not Ruth. And so when you
Mhm.
look at these ladies, people want to look at them and say, "Oh, that's my path to success." That's not a path to success. That's an exception. You shouldn't set yourself up to do
Yeah.
that any more than you should set yourself up to be a slave and rise up from slave and try to be king.
Yeah. Exceptions
does-
don't
it's a
make the rules, and
Yeah.
a lot of women, they don't know the difference between probability and possibility. Just because something is possible doesn't
Yep.
mean that it's a probable thing to happen.
Yep.
Just because you came from the life of being a prostitute doesn't mean you're gonna come to church and get married. Because most men, and this is what I say that a lot of Christian men will not say, you as a man have the right to be disgusted with a woman's past and say no.
But here's the thing. I would say this to them. You probably can come to a church and get married, but you won't be happy.
What do you mean?
Because you won't be because here's
You
the
talking
thing.
about for the woman?
For the woman, she won't be happy. Because if she really is if she is repentant and the man easily accepts her, she ain't gonna respect him because she knows she done some disgusting stuff and he's glossing over it.
Yeah.
She's gonna have to be held accountable by him in that too. So
Yep.
no matter what, even if she meets somebody that accepts that, they're gonna have to accept it in such a way that they hold her accountable for it.
Yeah.
And that's the only way forward. That really is the only way forward because if in any way he easily accepts what she did, he's not gonna be the kind of man she gonna respect. So she's not gonna be
Yep.
happy.
She
It's
knows
super hard to
she can
find
run
happy-
over him.
And it's no different. Like I've seen relationships where like people try to move forward after somebody cheated. It's super hard to move forward from that because you always, if you're the partner that got cheated on, either you have your thumb on them because you know what they did, and you always have this edge, and so they feel like they can never be right. But it's almost like you have to do it, or you go the other way and you forgive them, and now they feel like, hey, I did the worst thing and she didn't do anything about
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
I can do whatever I want. It's super hard to be any in between. There is an in between, but it's super hard to ride that balance, and that's why those relationships often don't work.
Right.
And so when you have a lifestyle of being a whore, now the thing about it is that if you just a regular whore where you were just sleeping around, if you was not a prostitute, you just sleeping around because that's what you did, it'd be way easier to forgive it because you can gloss over some of the things that was done because most people don't know. But when people do know, that makes it harder.
Mhm.
And if you was a date, like let's say somebody was an adult actress, right? It'd be super hard for her to get married to somebody, and I would definitely never have a pastor marry somebody like that.
It's funny
Because-
because that you mentioned that because right online now there's this adult film star that got married and she was talking about her experience through that and how she got divorced right afterwards because as soon as she got married, what did men do? They found her husband and all they did was send him images.
Mm.
Images of his wife with 10 men, images of his wife with 10 men at the same time, images of his wife with all types of stuff on her face, images of you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if I could live that down, man. Like, I don't think a man
That's
is
why-
made to live
That's
like
why
that.
I say if you
And
that's
I
why
don't blame
you
a
gotta be
Christian man
honest.
for saying, yes, you are repentant.
Yeah,
Yes, you have changed, but that's not for me, dude. I
Maybe-
can't
Yeah.
deal with that. And I don't
You-
blame any man.
No.
Like it's too many people, I think men who they gotta look at it like, I gotta accept this or I'm not a man. No, some things, dude,
No,
you
no,
just
no.
can't go for.
No, no.
Because I'm telling you right now, I'm a strong Christian.
Yeah,
Stronger than most. But I wouldn't be able to deal with that.
no, I can't deal with it. I wouldn't deal with it. Let's put it this: I would not.
Mhm.
I
Um,
can't and I won't. Can't
and it-
stop, won't stop.
I probably here's the thing. I think I'm better equipped to deal with that than almost anybody, but I would not. Deal
I
with
can't deal with it,
I
man.
would not deal with it. I could. I would not.
I don't think I could.
I think I could, but I don't want to.
I know what's the difference.
No, no, because I think I know how I would manage my lifestyle in such a way that I can mentally handle dealing with that. I really do believe I could do it, but I don't want to.
I think you're very optimistic. I don't think. Look,
I don't
man,
want to.
I know.
and
you.
I think that kind of lifestyle is such that, man, most
What
people
would you
who
do
haven't-
if a dude from another country sent a picture of your wife in some compromise? I don't know if I could deal with that, dude.
You can't deal with it. No.
and here's the thing, and the Bible says God will never give you what you can't handle.
I
I'm
can't
telling
have
you, I can't handle that, man.
Yeah, that's
if
a tough
if
one,
I
man.
knowing some dude out there across the country who I can never find has pictures of my wife in thousands of compromising positions,
Yeah, I can't
enjoying it. Not
Yeah.
that because here's the thing:
Yeah, but
if I could save her in some way,
Yeah.
say that she was captured.
Mhm.
And I know in the back of my head, I could go find this dude and do whatever to him because she didn't have no choice in the matter.
Right.
Yeah.
That would even be easier.
Yeah.
But knowing that she did these things willingly and some
Yeah,
dude
yeah.
is holding on to it in his spank bank, no, man. I can't.
but
I can't have it.
here's the only way, and it's a super narrow path, and it will be very hard, and even then, it's still likelihood to not end well. The only way you could do it is if you completely got off of all social media whatsoever. You would not be able to have
Live
a
in a
perfect,
van down by the river.
not in a van down by the river, but
Don't
you
have
would
a
have to.
phone.
You would no.
Right.
You could have a phone, but you could not have a public persona at all. Think of it this way.
Her husband didn't. He was a regular dude. Well,
get
you
it.
know what though?
But he can't. What I'm saying is, you have to.
He can't be a regular man.
No, but you'd have to legally change your name. You'd have to do.
Ain't
all
nobody
these
going
things.
through all that though.
they did
No,
that.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that this is the only way path forward. Because if you don't do that stuff, yeah, man, people gonna be sending you stuff.
Why not just get a regular woman at that point?
Well, that's what I would. That's what I do. I don't know what anybody else would do. That's
I'm
what I
just
do.
saying, man.
I would not do it. And then and if a man came to me and said, "Hey, man, can I do this and this and that?" She's a great woman, this and this and that. I would say, "Listen, man, it's a super narrow path forward,
Yes.
and I don't think it's going to work." And I would tell you why. As a
Mhm.
pastor,
Yes.
let me give you my advice because my advice is what to me is going to be good for your
That's
soul.
kind of what I'm getting at.
What you
I wish
need to
more
do-
Christians would say what you just said because it kind of look like I said before. There's a crazy statistic going out there that is 25% of women from the ages of 18 to 24 are on some type of OnlyFans or sex working, doing sexual cam work, taking off their clothes online. All right. And so
25%.
20 to 25%.
Yeah, I heard you say
That's
that percent. I
one
just
in
man,
four.
I can't believe it could be that high.
Let me see.
And that's what man, that's crazy if it's true.
Oh man, I just
Because
disappointed.
25% are not even attractive
That's one in
enough for
four.
anybody to even.
It
wanna
don't
look
even
at.
matter, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look it up now. Y'all can talk, but
the way I view it, man, the amount of people that are attractive to even want to look at is somewhere around 30% of people at most. And then beautiful is half that. And then
Okay.
extremely beautiful is like half that. Like it's a small percent. So to me, it's crazy. If that number is crazy, it also speaks to extremely high female ego. Because when you talk to some of these ladies, they're like, I know I look good. You be like, but you got a beard cut and a mustache. please go back home, lady.
Yeah, right.
Don't come out like that. So that percentage is crazy. If it's true, it's super crazy. But I just cannot. It's hard for me to believe that just off the top. Well, every time I hear it, I don't believe it. But if it's true, man, it's shocking.
I found a number, Jack. Looks like it's around 2%.
Let me see.
At least what I'm seeing. But there's a 25% of creators have turned their OnlyFans income into full-time employment. But women, according to what I'm seeing here, they are 70 to 80% of the platform's total creator base.
maybe I had that confused. Can you read that again?
Yeah, sure. So, looking at women as content creators on OnlyFans, according to what I'm seeing here on Google, the percentage of creators is around 70 to 80% of the platform's total creator base is women. 70 to 80%.
I bet you the other 20% is gay.
Yep.
And then another report suggests that approximately 2% of American women aged 18 to 45 are creating content. So that's 18 to 45. That's like the
Adult content or content in general?
it just says here are creating content. It doesn't say one way or the other, but it's kind of inferred that that's adult content.
2% is still.
All right, this is the one I
That's
got,
still huge. Okay.
but this is what I put.
What do you
Okay,
got? Yep.
and I'm using
Mhm.
what is it called? Anyways, I'm using AI
Okay.
to figure this out.
Yeah.
I put what percentage of women 18 to 25 years old have done sex work, OnlyFans, sex cam, or sexual
Okay,
videos.
so that includes all of that. Oh, okay,
right,
okay,
not just
okay.
OnlyFans. Okay,
Okay.
What
and it
percentage?
says, and then I also put what percentage of that age group is it? So for OnlyFans specifically, that is 1.4 million estimate works out to roughly about 10 to 14% of all U.S.
Wow.
women
Wow,
age
that's a lot.
18 to 24, depending on which underlying population figures you use. How that percentage is derived. A widely shared 2025 summary claims about 1.4 million Americans who age 18 to 24 are active OnlyFans creators and says it's about 14% of women in that age group. Now, I was 10% off, but that's still crazy.
That's
Yeah.
a-
14% is
Yeah.
crazy. Other commenters using similar data give a range of
ridiculous
about
number,
8 to
yeah.
14% for 18 to 24-year-old women, and then blah, 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 OnlyFans. So the reason why my percentage went up is because, and this is why they be playing games. You can put the camera on me real quick so I can
So-
talk to these people. People be playing games because they want to just talk about OnlyFans, but OnlyFans is not the only sex platform out there. There's plenty of them.
Agree, but my only thing would be to say if in that statistic they're talking about sex videos, if they're talking about something that a girlfriend sent their boyfriend and it's a video, I wouldn't want to count that, and I hope that they wouldn't count that in their statistic.
Honestly,
they
I would
talking
put that
about-
be a gray area because those videos, once they break up, do still get to the internet.
True, but I don't think I would not. Let's put it this way: if there was a naked picture of, let's say that let's say that
You got with Tina.
I was single, and then I found out that a girl had sent naked pictures to her boyfriend. I would react to that way differently than if she had put naked pictures on OnlyFans.
I agree, but I still think it's a very big lapse in judgment that I would very be like, yo, what is wrong with you? You know? But the thing about it is like, I think that women have become so, what's the word? Indoctrinated. They're becoming so indoctrinated with this sex work stuff that they don't think it's as bad as it is. For instance, just sharing stuff, even in a private Facebook message, is a very dumb thing to do.
Yeah, it is very dumb.
Because once it gets out of your hands, you have no control over that crap. And women are going thinking, oh, I'm just doing I hear these women on these platforms all the time. It's just OnlyFans. It's just me and my subscribers who pay me. These subscribers, once you give them that video, they can share that to any old place.
So,
And it always gets out. All of it.
Mm-hmm.
so if you go to a mall, what is it? 50? What percent?
14%.
Okay, so 14 out of 100 women that you
Mhm.
see between that age. If you walk to the mall today and walk past 100 women, 14 of them will be done did it.
Yes. And we not addressing this.
young,
And
yeah.
our culture is not addressing. I'm not saying our church. I think our church is predominantly older people. They don't necessarily know that this type of stuff is going on. But that's why I look into it, because people don't realize how prevalent this problem actually is for young men trying to find a wife. So say we have an influx of women that come to our church.
So he got to eliminate 14%.
Yeah, you got to eliminate 14% because you like, yo, ain't no way. I mean, now they could be turned and repent, right? But who want to deal with that? This is something that the church does need to address. I have my dad, you know him, Mr. Cliff.
Mhm.
We all go to St. Church.
Right,
He's the
right.
pastor. He talked about, like, dude, I didn't know what OnlyFans was. I didn't know what these sex
I had
platforms
never heard
was.
I had somebody brought it to my attention a couple of months ago. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah. I mean, and you're the older generation, so
Yeah.
obviously it ain't nothing that's like that you would deal with
And I'm
every day.
married, so I mean,
Right. I mean,
yeah.
but yeah. But here's the problem though. Is like these things are happening to this young generation, and no one is like, you don't see giant or big well-named pastors addressing it because they're
talking
kind
about
of
it.
they're out of touch with what's going on. You wouldn't MacArthur, who rest in peace. And then you got, people like who else? John Piper
Well, they not
or
talking.
you
These
don't
younger
hear them
pastors ain't
talking about that.
because they're in their church.
I don't know if it's because I think they don't necessarily
Well-
know, because they do talk about men and their corn. We have to say corn.
Corn,
Yeah, we say corn,
Corn.
because of
corn.
yeah,
okay.
and their
Men
corn
their
addiction.
Yeah, okay.
We have that. They talk about that all the time. But 14% of women are
That's a lot.
prostitutes.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So yeah,
well,
man.
I don't think they look at themselves as prostitutes because all they're doing is showing pictures.
Yeah, but they are.
I know. Technically, yeah.
They are. I mean, you can call yourself what you want, but when you're
Right.
selling sexuality for money for some dude to get off,
That's
to,
a prostitute.
you're a
yeah.
prostitute. And I mean,
But
I
you
don't.
know what? I think
Not
I
trying
think,
to be mean. It just is what it is.
Yeah, but I think you know what it is. I think we, as a society, we've made modeling something that people should aspire to, and I think modeling is super dangerous
yeah,
because if you
especially
think
for
about it,
kids.
yeah, if you think about modeling, like it's a form of selling your sexuality.
It is.
for it too.
Yeah.
And it's like it may be.
But
more
I can
clean.
debate you on that though a little bit,
But you
No,
know,
but here's a problem though: is let's say
because it's different between sexuality and beauty.
It is, but there's a thin line, and
It's
so
a-
let's say you go in there. If you're a model, where do you aspire to be?
you
Now,
don't
listen,
see
if
ugly
you're-
models much.
Yeah, but let's say look one thing
I'm
I
just
like.
saying.
So like when I'm like trying to create characters or something, like let's say you go and you'll search, and you'll say lady in black dress, and if you search for that, most of the images are not actually bad. They're not. And there'll be women who are like in these dresses, and so that's a type of modeling, and I'm cool with that. I'm really cool with that. If a lady was just gonna be wearing a black dress, but the problem is, you can't get famous being that kind of model.
No.
If you're going
You
to
gotta
be Megan Fox, you're going to have to make a swimsuit.
You're gonna have to be
Yeah.
So
Victoria's
once you-
Secret
yeah.
or what is it? ESPN or what is it?
Yeah.
Sports Center.
Yeah. So what do
Yeah.
you do?
Or Miss America or Miss
Yeah.
USA or something like
yeah.
that.
So what do you do with that? And to me, some people will be mad at me because they be like, "Hey, man, you don't like swimsuit modeling?" No, I don't.
No.
Because I think that's where you're getting into the sexuality.
It's pretty much corn.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And you're getting into that. And then even if you look
Yeah.
at some of these old swimsuit model pictures, like I remember as a radio host who was talking about like one of our most famous I forgot her name, but famous model. She had a swimsuit model, something Farrah. And it's like when you
Farrah
look at
Fawcett?
yeah, and they were talking about oh how beautiful she is and everything, and then one dude was like, yeah, why is that picture so famous? And they're like, well, you could see her nipple in the thing, and it's like that's
It's
probably
it's corn.
that's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
why that was such a famous image
Yeah.
because they didn't have internet stuff, but
Yeah.
they had that big old poster. And the thing that people like about it, here's what I don't like about it. The thing people like about it is what I don't, which is that you can draw the line and say that it's clean,
Yeah.
but if you can see the nipple, it's not. But you can say it's just a swimsuit.
Yeah,
But I know that you're looking at the nipple.
right.
But you say
you know
it's
you
just a
look-
beautiful woman. And you know it, yeah. But you gonna pretend. And the lady know you looking at the nipple.
Yeah.
And to me, it's no different when, and I know I'm probably the only dude who's on this, but I'm a big critic of the yoga pants because I believe that if you take a picture of a lady's naked butt and you put yoga pants, it ain't no different than if you go on paint and you put purple on there.
Yeah.
To me.
Okay.
So it's just like, I don't think Christian women should be doing that in public.
Yeah.
And I think there's a different standard. People should know. Now, do we need to dress like, the
Amish.
the Amish or the Islamists? No, but I think it wouldn't be bad if we did.
No, it's not wrong.
It wouldn't be bad if we did. People are like, well, you want us to dress like that? Honestly, if you did, what would be the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, you don't have to dress like that. But dang it, you can't dress like this.
Yeah.
And they don't want to hear that. But
And here's another thing, even with the workout stuff, like I told you when I was getting into kettlebell workouts and stuff, I was looking it up online. And next thing I knew, I made the mistake of looking it up on Instagram. And every girl with the yoga shirts and doing these kettlebell workouts where you got a camera right in her butt, and you just see it scroll. You don't have to look for it. You don't got to click on it. You just see it,
Mhm.
right? Because it's
Yeah,
going to show you what your
Instagram, I just
algorithm thinks
take
you want to
off 'cause
see.
you-
And
they just
so what
pop up
happens
on your
is like
phone.
you got these
Mhm.
women that are doing this stuff, and my problem with a lot of the culture that we have now is we punish the drug users but not the drug dealers when it comes to sexuality. When it comes to sexuality, women are the drug dealers.
Mhm.
Men are the drug users. Should we punish drug users? Yes, they cause a lot of problems. But when you come to the drug dealers, people do not address it. And women will have, I've seen it, a Bible verse on top of them bending over in the gym. And my problem is this, and nobody has ever really said this that I've heard clearly. There is no difference between men's workout clothes and women's workout clothes. They can wear the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's no reason why you need to wear spandex and you got to wear it over
And then
your
you
clothes.
yeah.
You can wear spandex under basketball shorts.
Agreed, 100%.
It's not even necessary.
When I thought about it, I understand why women like wearing spandex, even if it's not for sexual attention, because they don't have the muscle attention we got. That's why they bounce all the time. And
Yeah.
because even if you want to look at video games, you look, oh, the lady bouncing, and it's like it's unnecessary. But the only thing that can stop them from doing that is something that's extremely tight, and it makes them feel more comfortable. I get that. It doesn't have to be on the outside,
Yep.
just like you said. And then you got these yoga
I
pants.
even think you
You
can wear
got
the
these
pants under the shorts.
Yeah, you can.
Totally fine.
And I've seen it, and I've
Yeah.
thought to myself, wow, that's nice that lady is
Yep.
doing it. But what you got
You
is
did
you
it
got
for
these
me.
yoga pants where it's like they literally, it is purposefully suctioned in right at the butt
Yep.
crack and right beneath the butt to make it bounce.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, why
And-
are you doing
and-
that? That's
Yeah.
not support. It's not muscle support. It's definitely
Well,
not.
we know why they do it for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the thing that's weird about it is that for attention, but then if somebody look, then they mad.
Yeah.
Well, they pretend to be mad. They really like the attention that they get from pretending to be mad.
What is this
Yeah.
thing they have about they used to have a parade for it every year, the slut parade or something like
Oh,
that. Can I
yeah.
say
Slut
that?
walk.
Slut walk.
walk,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Protesting
Yeah.
rapers or something like that. Can I say that? I guess so. I just do. But yeah.
Here's another. You know what? Did I add the other one? Here, we'll go to the next. Mr. Producer, you got the next video? This will be the last one we'll cover because I know we had some difficulties at the beginning. So
Is this the Reddit
no,
one
it's the
a
one.
video?
We know Jack
Yeah,
love
you just
Reddit.
Lean back real quick. That one, yeah. We'll talk about
Jack
this.
find his
Jack
most
loves
messed up
Reddit.
stuff
All
on
right.
Reddit.
You said what?
You find your most messed up stuff on Reddit.
Oh, Reddit is just wow. Yeah, yeah. Here we go.
Here, when you're ready to play it. Play it.
Making a lot of friends out here?
Yeah, mostly support.
What? You know, it's really funny that you would be the one out here saying nobody should be killed over opinions because you're the misinformation. You're the misinformation. Of course you're pissed Charlie Kirk's dead because he paid paycheck. You're such a loser. You're a loser. You put trans people in this community at risk. You exploit this community, and then you have the gall to come here and do this fucking game. You make me sick, dog. You are the reason I had to go out and patrol these streets because a trans person was and it was 3 days after your little misinformation game when the Christian nationalists came here.
I've
You're
never heard
fucking
anybody.
disgusting. Yeah, you have no idea. Of course you don't. You know,
I've never heard anybody.
Oh, I know. Your words never hurt any. Words have never hurt anybody. Ain't that right?
If you can't.
You make me sick. Why don't you go back? Why are you shaking? Because I want to hate you, but I don't. No, I'm not. Because you're a little coward, and you use to do all of your little dirty work. You are a pathetic little. Yeah. Make sure you pick up. This guy's connected to Fox News, so everyone understands.
Does your video stop?
Anybody. Words have never hurt anybody. Ain't that right, Cam?
That's right.
You make me sick. Why don't you go back?
Why are you shaking?
Because I want to hate you, but I don't. No, I'm not. Because you're a little coward, and you use cops to do all of your little.
Speaking out about
dirty work.
transgender.
You are a pathetic little. Yeah. Make sure you pick up. This guy's connected to Fox News, so everyone understands.
I'm not connected to Fox News. I've been on Fox
He's a
News.
propagandist for Fox News. He was paid for by Charlie Kirk. He was an employee contract with TPUSA. He told me this. He told me this in a DM. This guy is an extreme. Get my face. This guy right now, he's out here.
You're acting deranged.
He's just posting all their information on the internet. This kid's actually super dangerous. He is a very dangerous kid, and it makes me very sad that he is in this community, that he is a part of this beautiful school.
You're behaving deranged.
Yeah, of course. Of course I'm behaving great. Because this guy right here, oh, words don't hurt anybody. This guy's out here.
Do you think that Charlie Kirk should have been killed? I am. Yeah.
Of course. Of course I'm behaving great. Because this guy right here, oh, words don't hurt anybody. This guy's out here.
All right, I'll pause it there. You guys get the gist of this. So, my question, and this is always something that I've struggled with, and I'm not even like just trying to make conversation. I really struggle where the line is on turning the other cheek in a situation like that. This dude is coming up. He's getting in a Christian dude's face. He's talking about, I want to hit you, right? And then you get to this situation where you're like, is this dude going to try to swing off on me because he think I'm a Christian? And I'm standing up for what's right. And then he's talking about somebody who was recently killed, trying to say the most offensive stuff you can say. I'm glad Charlie Kirk got this and that. At what point do you turn the other cheek? And at what point does it get to violence?
Well, for me, if you get in my space, I'm going violent.
You going violent.
Yep, I'm going violent. Now, to me, I don't just protect my body, I protect the space around me too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get too close to me where I feel that you could launch off on me and I could be unprotected if you got too close, I'm going to destroy you. But I think...
How is that Christian, sir?
Because I warn people all the time. People ask me for money or something. I'm like, hey, back off.
Yeah.
So I tell them that. But it's Christian because when you talk about turning the other cheek, I believe that is referring to persecution by governing authorities and how we need to accept the fact that we will sometimes not be empowered. The best example I can give is Jeremiah when he was in the court and they were arresting him. He told them, he said, okay, I'm in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
But note if you kill me, you are killing innocent men. And I think the same with Jesus. So I don't think we need to sit there and let people abuse us. Right? The same with Paul turned around to that woman and said he rebuked her and rebuked the demon out of her. He didn't have to keep on putting over her nonsense all day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's the same with us. We don't have to put over people's nonsense, even if we don't have to put up with any of their threats of violence or anything. But if it's the police that are now inflicting persecution on us, then we're going to accept it. But if it's just a regular dude who's just acting crazy, I'm not accepting that.
Well, what words? Go ahead, Mr. Cliff.
What
Go ahead.
dictates accepting it from the police? I don't understand what you mean by that.
I think that persecution is mainly by governing powers.
Okay.
So I think if the police came and said, hey, Brian, you got to stop preaching the gospel, I would still preach it. And if the police started arresting me, I would not resist. I would go to jail.
Okay, I see. Okay.
But if I was out on the street and a black Hebrew Israelite said, hey, stop preaching the gospel, and he then laid hands on me. I
Yeah.
laid
Okay.
hands back.
Okay. Right. Right. Okay.
So to me, it is about persecution is something that has to do more with the governing
Right.
powers. I'm not going to sit there and just accept it
Because you
from
can't really
somebody
be
else.
persecuted by somebody underneath you.
That
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if a 100-pound girl come and want to persecute me,
Yeah.
I'm just
doesn't really doing much.
back end
But,
coming out.
you know, if you
That,
got the whole power of the government behind you.
I keep saying to myself, whenever I meet Jesus face to face, I'm going to ask him about that passage about turning the other cheek. Because I remember I had to teach it one time, and I was at a table, and there was 5 pastors there, and every one of them had a different answer to that. Is it literal? Kirk was there that time. Dan Allen was there,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
so
they have a weird version of it because they had thought to some degree. One of them, no, I think it was more Kirk had said, and he's a friend of mine. He had to
Yeah.
explain it. You might even be able to have him one day on.
I'll say my
But he had
philosophy
said,
after
he had
you.
said something to the effect that he don't believe that Christians should engage in any form of violence.
That's dumb.
no,
I'm a big opponent of
No,
that
no.
viewpoint, but he could explain it a
Did
lot
you
better.
slap
well,
him?
Peter and them were
No,
armed, so
we
Jesus,
we
they
No,
were
he's
with
cool.
Jesus
I
and
met
they
him
were
before.
armed. So Peter
Yeah,
and them-
he responded to it. He's a good dude. So
He
he's
sounds
not,
like a good guy, but
Yeah, he is
I
a good
hate
guy,
that philosophy.
but
I don't like
so-
the philosophy either, but as mentioned from a guy that I respected, I at least will listen to it.
yeah. So
But
what's
I
your
disagree with
philosophy? What do you think he means?
Well, if you look back in the context of that day, slapping somebody in the face was a sign of disrespect.
Right,
And the same as cursing somebody out would be today.
right.
Just like if somebody was to curse me out, I wouldn't curse them back out. I'm a Christian.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I might even say, God bless you, man. Go about your day.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how I look at turning the other cheek. But the moment you slap and it's turned into a punch and you're trying to actually do me harm, no. Anything that can possibly
So
do
it's
me harm.
figurative. It's
Yeah,
figurative.
I think it's
Okay.
more like even slapping, even turning the other cheek, saying that somebody slapped you in the face, they're not trying to kill you. But when somebody is punching on you or threatening to do violence, you don't know what they could do. You have, in my opinion, you have an obligation as a man to protect yourself for the sake of your family. Because if something was to happen to you,
Your
you was gonna
family,
take care of
yeah.
your family, and you gotta protect your family too. So I'm not gonna let nobody run up to my wife and say something crazy and say, "Oh, you a Christian? You can't be out here opposing abortion." You can say what you want from a distance,
Yep.
but the moment you put me in a situation where I have to take the godly authority to protect my family, you're in danger now. Because
Yes.
I'm not gonna play that with nobody.
Yep. Well,
And the thing about it is, I think too many Christians are very weak on these issues. Even some I respect, like the man you talked about.
mhm.
I respect a lot of these Christians who have this point of view, but a lot of them, they do it out of cowardice. And what I mean by that is they say turn the other cheek, but what they really mean is I'm just too scared and don't have the ability to fight back.
Okay.
And they rest in the fact of, oh, the Bible says turn the other cheek, so I'm going to let myself get beat up because I'm too scared to throw a punch. You're just a coward. The Bible says God does not give us a spirit of fear as well. We got many warriors in the Bible, many. Some who just acted like David when his family got captured. He went and asked God, and God said they will all be returned to you.
Yeah.
He did that. That's self-defense.
He had
He
one
wasn't like, he
dude-
didn't have to do that. They weren't harming him at the time.
He killed so many people, a sword cleaved to his hand.
He was a straight up warrior, and you gonna say that that's not of God? These weak Christians they be making me sick, man. Like, yo, you gonna let somebody punch on you and spit in your face or slap you and just or do harm to you, and you just say, well, it's of God. I understand what you said, like when the government is doing it, that's true persecution.
Yeah.
But if somebody is really running up to you, just trying to punch on you simply because what you said, you have a right in this country in obeying the government authorities to have self-defense. Nobody get to just do whatever to me. No, so I'll be getting mad when these Christians do that because a lot of people have this mentality, oh, he can't fight back because he a Christian. Okay, find out. You seen it at our church. We ain't gonna go into no details.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
came in there acting crazy. They went out pretty calm. They went out pretty calm because we don't play that. I'm getting riled up, but y'all know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, we do the
do
Nehemiah
not
method.
play that.
We will
Yeah,
lay hands
we'll
on
lay-
you.
if you hear tomorrow, I'm coming down there and lay hands on you.
yeah, that's your favorite book, ain't it,
I
Nehemiah?
love Nehemiah, man.
Same thing. One of my favorite favorite passages in books
Mhm.
that kind of reiterate how God views self-defense.
Mhm.
Nehemiah said, listen, I ain't messing with y'all. Don't mess with me. We just here to do our job. He had his sword, and they
In
didn't have
one
to
hand,
mention
yep.
that. They mentioned that for a reason. He had his sword, and he said, listen, Sanballat, y'all stay over there. If you
Mhm.
come over here, you know what's going to happen. And not only that, but then at the end of the chapter, he was like, y'all want to disagree.
I
Y'all
done
want to
told y'all, he
disrespect.
said. Yeah.
Y'all, he said, this is straight up just disrespect what they was doing. They didn't hurt nobody. They was disrespecting the temple. They was
Mhm.
disrespecting the laws that he had set up right before he left. He came back. He said, this is what y'all doing? I'm laying hands on somebody. Now, how is that not Christian?
It's definitely Christian. I would say, even if you look in the Apostle John, he talked about somebody laying hands on people and throwing them out of the church. But he was mad at that because they were abusing their power. But the effect of it was that some of that is okay. Like, you think about it in this sense. If
Where's that
somebody,
found at? Because I don't remember.
that's in 3 John, where somebody
Oh,
is
Third John.
laying hands on people and throwing them out of the church.
Wait a second. There's a 3 John? I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
And so I think that we have the right to enforce the rules in the church.
It's another question I'm gonna ask you guys pertaining to this as well, and that is why is it? Because this dude was like a trans advocate type dude. What about this trans demon that these people got make them so crazy where they gotta get all deranged
I
and
do think
unhinged?
it's demonic. I think
Oh,
it's
it's
a
definitely
demonic
demonic.
philosophy, and I think they know that Christianity is opposed to them, and it's the closest thing that when you are so unhinged that you can't tell the difference between a man or a woman,
And you think you
are
can
super
change yourself
confused
into
by
one.
Satan. Satan has allowed you to see whatever he wants you to see, and so when you see us, it's nothing for him to say, "Hey, man, can you take care of these Christians and take them out?" And they'll do it.
Yeah.
Same thing they did to Charlie Kirk. They'll do that to us.
All these
And
people,
they
man,
they
they're insane.
super hyper with that stuff.
Why are they so violent?
Because homosexual movement and all deviant sexuality is violent in its nature, and I think that all
You
of
be
it
talking about like by how they even engage in sex?
I think that
It's
and I think, but I
demonic,
think
definitely.
I
It is
definitely think
definitely
it's
demonic.
I think even the motivation for it. If you think about it, when you think about it, the
Itself.
Bible said in a sense like to humble her. Like the when somebody submits to you in sex, it's a humbling experience to some degree. For a man to do that to another man, it is a
Yeah.
degree of trying to dominate them that is completely unhealthy. And more than just the sexual perversion of it, there is a mental inversion that goes on where you think of sex as just dominating the other person.
Yeah.
And then the other person likes being dominated. That's why the Bible calls them effeminate. Like
Yeah.
you have disgraced what masculinity even is.
Yeah.
So I think that when you look at it in that sense, the homosexual movement is extremely violent, and Sodom and Gomorrah talks
It's
about
funny you
that.
say
It's
that
just
because
goes into that. And bisexuality, and you could say they all act like they have different persuasions, but it's not. They don't have a different persuasion. They just have I don't want to do what God told me to do. Because if you think about it, sexual persuasions don't even make sense.
No.
Because as long as, let's just be blunt,
You can't persuade me to do
as
nothing.
long as you get an orgasmic feel, why do you care? Really, if you think about it, why would a man care? And a man is not made for a man to feel good. So why would that be your first choice? It's not. It's not your first choice, but you're just making it your first choice. And it's the same with people who say they're attracted to children. Why are you attracted to children? You're not really attracted to children. You just want to ruin somebody that's innocent.
Mm.
And I get that. And it's the same with somebody who say, oh, they
It's
say
disgusting.
they people who are sexual assault and they want to do that. And what do? That can't be pleasing to you. That's not a pleasant sexual experience, but they want to do it. The same with Darren Sharper. I remember Darren Sharper. You may not know this story
I
Jeremy,
remember.
because it's related to sports.
Yeah.
But this dude was a
Handsome man.
Pro
Running around.
Bowl player, but he was doing the Bill Cosby. He
Yeah.
slipping all these ladies.
No,
these
I saw a
pills.
documentary on that.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
and he was
raping
sleeping
women
with
in
women.
every city.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so, but the thing about it is, that can't listen. one of the things that some Christian men complain about is that their wife just lay there and act like she dead.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me that that's a pleasure? That's not a pleasure for you to lay there. No, you get off on the evil of doing something to somebody that they can't stop.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
And that's to me, that's why it's violent. And so
Yeah.
when you
It's
look
like
at all
all
these
these
sexual
serial killer
perversions,
dudes.
yeah.
Well, you know what? You said something that's absolutely true. And it's that there's something satanic about it.
Oh, it's
Even
definitely
Aleister Crowley,
Yeah.
who was one of the forefathers of Satanism, said that you can only do some satanic cults after you have homosexual sex or satanic rituals for after doing that. And I don't get too deep into that stuff because I don't want to.
Nah.
But the fact that he said that, I
Makes
think there's
you-
some truth to
It
that.
is. It's
Because
definitely
it's
demonic.
inverting. Satanism is all about inverting what God created and making something beautiful disgusting. You
Yeah.
know.
Here's what
It's
I
all
do.
about inversion. That's why they love
Yeah.
the upside down
Yep.
cross and things like that.
Yeah. Here's what I always do to the guys when I'm teaching them at where I work and trying to convince them that, you know, when these are usually liberal guys, right? And I'm telling them, so I got a classroom and I got this, you've seen some of the guys that I work with.
Yeah.
And I take the youngest one, I'll say, how about you and him being a couple? And they'll look at each other and they see how ridiculous it is, right? It's ridiculous. So these are liberal guys, they for abortion. They
But
for,
why
they,
would you, I don't
but
get
wait a
why you
minute.
say that. Wait
Well,
a second.
the reason I'm saying it is because
Wait, you just suggested it?
no, I want to say to them this how much nonsense it is. right?
Oh, like
So I'm making a point, and I'm making a point by two guys.
now. What if they said yes?
They not gonna say it because it's disgusting, right? I already know they're not gonna say it. They not that liberal. They just think they are. They don't realize.
You talking about some of the people that work there? They do think that
no,
they're gay
not the
sex.
guys I work with. The guys that come.
So
Yeah,
they come and they say that they have this openness, and then you expose that they don't.
Yeah.
They say, yeah, I don't. Well, abortion, you know, and I say, okay, so you voted for so and so, and so you think that
Why
you
do
and
people
Joe
who are
Blow
homeless
over
get a
here,
right to
you and
vote?
Joe Blow over here could be a couple. No,
Mhm.
man, I don't. You know, well, that's what you voted for. You know what I'm saying? So,
you must have some
yeah,
stake
right.
in the
Yeah,
some
so
stake in the game.
that's what I'm saying. You have to make
Oh, man.
you have to make them see themselves in it because
Oh.
otherwise they think it's cool. Well, I don't. Love is
But
love.
this is what
you
I'm
know?
saying with the weak
when you talk
Christianity,
to-
though.
Yeah.
When you talk to the Christians that were saved from that lifestyle, they do not look at it as pleasantly as everybody else be putting
Mm-mm.
it. They do
No.
not. And when you talk to them, they be talking about how disgusting this stuff is.
Yeah.
So I don't
But here's the
know.
thing with the weak Christianity. I've talked to Christians who said, I go to a gay marriage and I totally support it
No, we can't
because
do that.
you have to show people that you love them before you can even witness.
No.
I've seen somebody just last week say that.
Yeah, I've seen it. But here's what you gotta do. You do need to show people that you love them, but you can't show them that you accept their sin.
Exactly.
And so loving and accepting sin are
It's
two
two different things, right?
Two different things.
Yep.
man.
I always tell people they would tell me, "Oh, so you wouldn't allow a gay dude in my church?" I'm like, "Yeah, he can come to our church.
Right.
We've had gay dudes and women at our church, and we accept them. And not, and I don't, let me clear that up.
Yeah,
We don't accept the bad behavior. But here's the thing:
That's
it's no better place for you to be if you're living in a sinful lifestyle than to come
than hearing the
and
gospel.
learn the truthfulness of the gospel.
Yeah, we've
There's no better
said-
place to be. But the thing is, you will be so uncomfortable at our church because we will not stop giving you the truth of what Jesus
Right.
Christ and the Word of God said.
But I think when people hear that, they think that we looking at that dude and we making every sermon about Leviticus 18,
yeah.
which is not was the case. But the case is that the gospel itself
Will
will impact your
convict you.
life to such a degree that it has ramifications for how everybody lives.
Yep.
Everybody must pick up their cross and
Mhm.
deny themselves.
Mhm.
So guess what? You addicted to pornography? You gotta repent. Guess
Mhm.
what? You like having sex with multiple women? You gotta,
gotta
repent.
repent.
Right,
Guess
right.
what? You like having sex with your wife, but you want to be way too aggressive with it. Yeah, you might have to repent.
Yep.
Like everybody got to repent. It don't matter what kind of lifestyle they got. They all
Mhm.
have to repent. They all have to deny themselves. So like, oh, you homosexual? Yeah, you got to deny yourself and repent. It's no different than for you than anybody else.
Yep.
It ain't harder for Christ to save them than to save
Yep.
anybody else.
Mhm.
But that lifestyle itself shows a greater level of rebellion.
And perversion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, it's just like I hate when people try to act like, well, that's the same as sleeping around with women. No,
No,
it's
it's
not,
not.
because it's a deeper level of perversion
The
that
Bible
allowed
calls
you
it
to
an
get.
abomination for a
Yes,
reason.
Right, right.
it's a deeper level of perversion that allowed you to get that way. We would never say that about anything else. If we saw somebody having sex with an animal or a small child, we would never say, "Oh, that's the same thing as sleeping." No, it's a perversion. There's
Well,
steps
yeah,
to
it
this.
is.
I know, but we getting to the point where people are trying to
Yeah.
make that okay. And
Yeah.
what people don't realize is, man, when the Bible, here's the thing that people don't realize, because people think it's funny. Oh, if you have sex with a horse, the Bible says kill the horse and the human being. The reason is because
Yeah.
you have messed with the horse too.
Mm-hmm.
You've messed with the horse's mind. What happens if that horse is now trying to attack with people and do all kind of stuff?
I've actually
So it's like,
seen
yeah.
a video of something like that, and what
That's
happened is
scary.
it was like I think it was a horse. It was like knocking people down and trying to mount them.
Mm.
And what people had concluded, they was like, "Yo, what did they do to that horse?" Now that sounds funny,
No,
but that's very
that makes
scary
sense.
though,
That makes sense.
because what
Yeah.
was done to that horse that he was doing that,
Yeah,
and then
just
you
like
got to think
9-year-olds. They
perversion-
said
yeah.
9-year-old was trying to sexual assault another, like an 8-year-old or something like that. I
Mhm.
heard. Wait a second. First off, 9-year-old cannot
Does
get
not
it up
know.
like that.
Yeah.
But the second thing is, how did they know that?
Mm-hmm.
If
That's
you
the
know
question you
that,
gotta ask.
you know too much. Who has done something to
To
you?
you,
Yep.
right?
Right? It's really close. It's very close to the question that God said, "Who told you were naked?"
Mhm.
Yep.
It's super close to that same question.
Mhm.
And that's when you get people that's that messed up. They're messed up for a reason.
Yep.
Who messed them up?
And they must die. Let's just caning won't be enough.
Let's
man.
stone
Yeah,
them.
no,
man.
no, no.
Stoning
You-
me. We need to bring stoning back.
Yeah, we definitely.
Some
well,
forms of evil are such
You gotta be
that
done with, man.
have
You do
to
that
punish
stuff to
that
kids,
harshly.
man. You gotta go.
You have to punch that extremely harshly, and it's just a matter of like people be getting mad because when you talk about these things, they say, "Oh man, you too harsh."
Like-
no, man, you have rejected
Yeah.
humanity and masculinity itself. You have rejected the most fundamental truths of God. You have to go.
You gotta
You
go.
gotta go.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to repent and serve the Lord, I'm all with you. But do realize that if you repent, just like for example, if somebody who was a sexual assaulter repented, they read the Bible and they realize, oh my goodness, God
How
had a
bad it-
penalty for people who sexual assault that is actually death.
Mm-hmm.
They should then come to the church and say, you know what, my guys,
I deserve.
I deserve to die, but God was gracious to me.
Mhm,
Thank God I didn't die, but I do deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I had an abortion when I was 17.
That's another
I've
topic. I was
learned
gonna ask
later that that's a murder. I deserve to die.
you. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, you do.
Yep. And I hate when these. I've seen this even in our church. People will talk about past things they've done, whether it be abortion or something crazy like that, and they'll say something where I'm like, dude, do you understand the
How bad that was,
gravity
yeah.
of what you did? You can't say, and God forgave me, and I'm glad I've been through what I've been. No, you shouldn't be glad. There's a life that's not on earth. This is murder. You would have, if it was up to God, Jesus Christ would take your life. He would tie a millstone around your neck and throw you into the. You cannot get past that. And here's the thing. People say, well, you want them to feel bad about it?
Yes.
You should feel bad about it enough to
Yes.
where you worship the Lord and
Yes.
say, God save me.
Mhm.
He
Yes.
saved sinner such as I am who
Yep.
did not deserve it. And I say that on a daily. A Christian should have a daily thing of
What
saying,
did Jesus
I
say?
don't
The tax
deserve it.
collector beat his chest and he said, Lord, have mercy on a sinner. He
Yep.
said that
Mhm.
man went home justified.
Yep.
But then the other brood said, well, I'm so great.
I'm not.
But
I'm
that's
not
what
a
people
sinner
are
like
doing
him.
with their
Yeah.
sexual sin. They say, I'm so great. I'm okay as I'm in.
Yep.
No, you're not okay. Nobody's okay.
Mhm.
Nobody can come up into heaven. Even Isaiah went up into heaven, had already been a prophet, went up into heaven and was like, oh my goodness, I don't deserve to
Yep.
be here.
Uh-huh.
That's how we all should be.
Should feel,
Anybody
yeah.
who's sitting there and coming to church saying, I deserve to be here, you need to leave.
That's
you
why
already have it-
we need more
Yeah.
of the good gospel teaching. And when I bring it back to what I was talking about before, when I say we are doing a disservice by not attacking where our young women are falling into this prostitution lifestyle,
Yep.
and a lot of people are not addressing it. I think a lot of times people have made church into a business. 70% of our churches are women right now. And what happens is you do get a lot of churches that are like, they either don't know what's going on or they don't
They don't
address
wanna
it.
talk
Like,
about
how
it.
many times, Mr. I know you know this, Mr. Cliff. How many times we're doing a sermon, even in our churches and even in good churches, where you talk about submission or
Nobody-
something a
yeah.
woman got to do?
No, not
People-
only a woman, nobody
Oh.
wants to submit.
Yeah, I know we ain't talking about that again. But imagine if somebody said, "Hey, a man. You should not though Jesus said if you look at a woman and sexually lust after you committed
lust.
adultery in your
Yeah,
heart.
right.
And men went, oh, not that again. I can't believe he talking about what we be doing. What about the women though? Imagine
Yeah.
if men said that. It shows that there's a prevalence in our society that we have the men in our culture, we have adopted such feminism that even when we address what women do, we can't even address it fully because it's like we scared they gonna be mad.
Yeah,
we
well,
scared
when
they gonna
you-
start
When
crying.
you address it, you have to.
You gotta be
have
harsh.
Well, not not just that you gotta be harsh. You have to anticipate that there is gonna be a spiritual resistance to what you're doing, and you have to break through it.
Yep.
You have to. And I
You
think
can't
what
care what
happens,
they think.
I remember the first time that I taught about that, I felt this big resistance in the room, and I wasn't prepared for it.
Mhm.
You have, as a man, you got to be prepared to it, and you got to break through it, and you still got to say what thus saith the Lord.
Yep.
And if people don't like it, it's on them. Now you could maybe get your presentation better and all kind of
Mhm.
things, but at the end of the day, you're going to say stuff that's going to offend people. Hopefully, don't try to offend them on purpose, but offend them with the truth if you have to.
Well, you need to be offended. People should be offended because that's the only way you're going to change. Understanding that your way of thinking is not right. It's wrong. So you're going to be offended. And we're the most offended society right
Yeah.
now. You can't even say hello to anybody without being offended.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember one time I told this guy, he was complaining. Now, on Wednesday is chicken day at work. Everybody comes out for chicken, the president and everybody. And this dude
What
one
type
time,
of chicken? Fried chicken?
fried chicken,
Oh,
good too.
I might come.
Dude said, "Man, we got that chicken again." And I said,
in a homeless shelter.
"Wait a minute." I said, "Dude, when you were out there with that pipe, you didn't even eat. So what are you complaining about? Stop moaning about the chicken.
The
And
entitlement
you
of
get
some
out
of
there
these
and go get-
homeless dudes.
4 pieces of chicken. Come on, really, dude?"
Dude, remember I was talking about this, and this is the last thing I'll say. We had, and I say it because there's so many lessons in this. We had the thing in our church where we did a Samless sandwich thing where we
Oh,
made
yeah,
all
yeah.
these sandwiches.
Yeah, you had
and we
to
had
say it.
people compete, right? And you were one of the judges, Mr.
Yeah,
Cliff, weren't you?
right.
And
Good sandwiches.
it was basically like a thing where you invite people to church, and if you invite the most people in the month's span, you get to be a judge of the sandwich competition. And one of the things that really bothered me is everybody, all the typical faithful people did such a great job. They made it all work perfectly. Me and my wife was the one who were in charge
Yeah.
of it. And so they brought their sandwiches. Everybody was competing. People but guess what happened at the end? All these people that weren't faithful, that just came just to eat, gathered 5 and 6 different plates to take home. Some was just taking as much as they possibly can. Some of these sandwiches that was put together and the food that was put together took a
Took a
lot of
long
care and a
time.
lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, people buying specialized
You know-
buns
you know
and
that's
meats
gonna be
and
a
stuff
new,
like
you know
that.
That's a new rule now, don't you?
No, I didn't.
So
Go
there's
speak on it.
yeah,
Speaking of
there's-
Mike, though.
There's a new rule. The new rule is the only people who could take food home are people who are faithful members who have families. It is not to be going to people who go back to a shelter where they eat for free already. It is not for those who
It's
didn't
sad that
bring
you even got to say
anything.
that, ain't it?
Well, and the thing that's going to be said is, hey, we are graciously allowing anybody who comes to eat anything that they want while they're here. You can eat a lot. You can even eat more than I think you should eat. But you
We
cannot.
can call it the manna principle.
You cannot, yeah, but you cannot take it home with you. The only people who could take it home are those who brought.
I think that's a
and
great
those
rule.
who gave
Yeah.
to their families.
It just
That's
it.
it.
Just put a
it's
bad
the
taste
same
on
for-
something great that we did.
Yeah, because
and we
I had
did
to
it for the
review-
community, did we
Yeah.
not? We did it in a way where it was like anybody could come and eat as much as you want
they
while you're
did.
there.
Yep, yep.
And they went and gorged out. And I told a specific dude, I ain't gonna name him. I said, hey man, no, let the people who brought the food come and get their food before. Can I take some home to my mama? I said, no, not right now. Because let the people who put the work in that didn't get to eat, that was serving other people,
Right.
let them take home food first. Next thing I know, I turn around 5 seconds later, he gathering food up. Multiple plates to
No,
take
they
home
shut
to his
him
mom.
down. Yeah,
They shut him. Mom shut him down.
yeah. She got shut down for that. But people be trying to always do stuff like that, and even our members sometimes fall for it because I remember I had to rebuke a real faithful lady because The men were eating the donuts in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and the kids wanted to eat them. And she was like, "That's for the men." I said, "No,
Be specific. What men?
Mm-hmm.
it's for the men who come from the rescue mission,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
them homeless men." And I
Mhm.
said, "No, we need to take care of our members first.
Right.
If it's donuts and our kids want to eat them, and
They
these
should
men,
be able to eat
and
it.
here's the thing that I even more: if the men have to go without, so the kids eat some donuts,
Exactly.
let them go without."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I even went in there one day and busted them all up. And some people was mad at me because they was sitting around and there was so many men in there that it was making the room a little bit uncomfortable for the kids who was gonna have their class.
Yeah.
I said, "You guys need to get up and get out of here." They were like, "Well, we shouldn't down eating our coffee." I said, "I know. That's why I'm telling you to leave." And then they was like, they all started running because they know better than to fight me on stuff. But it's
Well, the
like,
thing is, you got to
Get
teach
up
some
outta here,
men
man.
how to be men.
you got an entitlement mentality.
I was just going to get
We
on
need
that.
to
Yeah.
This is
we
the
need to
last
bring
thing
the
we'll
Canaan
talk
back.
about, because the entitlement mentality in the United States from people who are homeless, who ain't got nothing,
That's
and will
why but
complain.
that's why they're homeless, because they have an entitlement mentality. That's why. And when you talk to everybody, when you think about it, the core of the if you could entitle everything that we're doing today, it's all about them entitlement mentality.
Mhm.
The lady who thinks that she's entitled to have a husband after she done sex work.
Mhm.
The black community is entitled. These men who come to church and they want to eat everybody else's food, entitled. We got an entitlement problem.
Yeah.
And the Canaan is the solution. The solution is
Back to
the
Canaan.
heart. No, because the Canaan doesn't always have to be the physical Canaan. Sometimes it's the verbal Canaan. Of, hey,
Yeah.
man,
I-
you don't deserve that. You don't have a right to that. And I know you think you do, but this is a verbal Canaan that you need to feel so you understand this is not yours. No,
Right.
you don't need that donut. The kids can eat the donut. And if the kid eat a donut and you don't get one, guess what? You eat for free every day.
Yes, not only that, but it's like I always looked at it as a masculine thing to do. We had Thanksgiving and we had all our family there. I said, you know, you know how our women are. My wife, your wife, my mom,
Mhm.
our mom, and all the women want to sit. They love to serve, and that's a good thing they have. But my thing is, no, you guys go eat. It's
Mhm.
a gentleman thing to do. I'm not gonna gather my plate when the people who prepared the food, my
Didn't eat.
wife, has not eaten yet. And so that's just the way I think. Now, some people have a different culture where they like, oh, the women serve the men. I understand that too. But
Mhm.
then there's sometimes where it's like, yo, y'all put in all that work. They was up baking, they baked cakes, they
Oh,
baked
no,
pies, let these women eat. You know? And so my mentality was like, always thought it's a masculine thing to do to let those lesser than me take the food when I could be a bully and force my way in, and nobody would be able to stop me. But as a man, the Bible says you cherish your wife more than your own body,
Mhm.
right? And so I always thought it was a Christian principle to let the women eat first. But what I come to understand is with a lot of these men, they have never been taught what it's like to be a real man and to have principles like that.
Mhm.
It's like, let me grab it all now. And they'll go grab the food. And I just told you about a situation. A dude grabbed the donut, and one of my kids was coming over to get it, and he grabbed the donuts at the church and ate it in front of him. And I was like, that's not a masculine thing to do.
No, dude.
We gonna have to start policing them donuts.
Uh-oh, I
Every
should have
time I
told
hear
Brian.
about these donuts, I get more and more upset.
I
And
think it's
told-
a kid thing to
I
want
told
something
the-
sweet. You know, let them
Well,
enjoy
but
it.
I told the lady who we all love, who's in charge, and I just
Yeah.
told her, I said, "Yeah, I'm close to getting rid of these donuts because it's creating a bad mentality in you and in them. Because in one respect, we're giving to people who are not part of the church and
Mhm.
leading and feeding their entitlement monster.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, when other people, let's say that you rushed out the house to get to church early and you didn't eat breakfast, you oh, there's a donut there, and you go and get a donut, and everybody looking at you. You're not the problem.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter. Like my kids go over there and they're like, "Oh, Dad, can I get a donut?"
I
Every time
always
they
say
ask me,
yes.
I always say yes. Every
Mhm.
time.
And I'll
because
stand
I
by him.
Yeah.
And I wish somebody would say, "Don't
Yeah.
get." This is my church. We
Yeah.
give the money for you to eat.
Yep.
Mhm.
Like, don't play with. Don't be so entitled.
Yep.
That you don't understand where things
somebody
came
would
from.
Say that. That's when I correct. And I wish one of the people who was entitled would say something to me because I would
They know better, man.
give them that verbal cane. And
Like I said before, we've already removed people physically from our church who was acting like they was too big and bad to do that. They was gonna do something. They didn't do nothing.
You gonna do what we tell you.
You
to
will
when you come
do,
to
and
church.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. Men demand respect.
Yep.
I'm not gonna sit in the house of God where God has given me I always looked at my position in church as a protector, you know,
Yeah.
doing things that my dad probably can't do and that you probably can't do. And my
Mhm.
thing is, you ain't gonna come and you ain't gonna disrespect my dad and interrupt the service and do crazy stuff and make them have to put hands on you. You ain't even gonna know where it came from. You gonna be outside on your head before you know it. And I'm not gonna play in the house of God. We demand respect.
Mhm.
We couldn't do that if we didn't have a patriarchal
We
church.
could have a caning room. I gotta
Get
go,
on it!
dude.
Room of Cain.
All right, man.
Yeah.
We got to get going. But thank you guys for joining us. This is The Righteous Edge. We had some good conversation with Mr. Cliff and Mr. Brian. We'll be back next week. I don't know who we going to have, but you guys, if you like what you hear today, like, share, subscribe, join the show. We try to do one every Friday. We'll be doing some shows in the middle of the week as well with me. Probably not Mr. Producer. We'll see. But thank you guys for joining us. All right. Peace out, guys.